Hey, welcome back. So now we've got characters that'll chase us around. If I come into the game and let a couple spawn, they run around and they follow me. They don't really animate right, and watch when I kill them, you see that they still kind of slide around after me. So let's get these guys fixed up real quick. There are a couple things that we want to do. The first is to make these guys just animate so that they're walking, they're not just sliding around. Now let's pull one of the enemies out of our prefabs folder real quick. I'm just going to take my base enemy here. And then let's go down into, got to get on the inspector tab. Let's go to the animator and pop open the animator controller. So right now we've got an idle state, we've got a die, and a get hit state. We don't have anything for actual movement, and we need to set that up. So what we're going to do is right click on this idle, and we're going to change it into a blend tree. So just right click, turn it into a blend tree, and then you'll see that we got a blend variable automatically created. Let's rename that to speed with capital S. And then we're going to rename this from idle to locomotion, just like that. Then if I double click on it, we get into the actual blend tree, and I can select the blend tree here and see the list of motions. I'm just going to hit plus 2, 3 times. There we go, 1, 2, 3. Now the first motion that we want, if the character is not moving at all, is just going to be the idle. So I'm just going to put the idle on at 0 for the threshold. Then for when he's walking, we just want to put in a walk. So this will be at 0.5. And then he'll run at the full 1.0. Now here, let's get into this view. I can drag it around mouse wheel to zoom out, and I can hit play. And then I can actually see as I adjust the speed what's going to happen. So if he gets up to 0.5-ish, you'll see he's doing a walk, and at the full 1, he's doing a run. And then back down to 0, he's in an idle. Perfect. So now our character can do a little bit of animation based off of this speed variable. So let's go hook that up in our code. And that's going to be in our enemy script. So just pop this thing open and then take a look at our update. So here, if we don't have a target, remember if this is no target, we try to find a target. And then if we do have a target, we set it as the destination. But we also want to set that speed variable. So we want to access the animator and say something like animator.setFloat speed. And then let's just make him run for now. So just set it to 1. If he has a target, it goes to 1. Otherwise, he's got no target. So if he doesn't have a target, we also want to just set that speed back down to 0. So I'm just going to copy this. And then right up here, we'll set the speed to 0. We don't want him walking around if he's, or playing a walk animation if he doesn't have a target. Now, we also don't want him doing this walk animation if he's right next to the player. So let's add in another check in here. Right here we'll say var distance equals vector3.distance. And we want to go from the enemy's position, so we'll do transform.position, to the target's position. So target.transform.position. This will just tell us how far away we are from the target. Now if the distance is greater than 2, I'm going to set the speed to 1 and set the destination. I think that's a good stopping distance for this guy for now. Now, if we're less than 2, we're going to want to do some kind of attack stuff. So let's say else, and I'm just going to put in a comment here to do an attack. So if we're greater than 2, we'll walk or run. Otherwise, we're going to do some kind of an attack. So let's go see that in action real quick. We'll just hit play and come right in. There we go. Now you see him walking over. And when he gets close, he's still walking. So why is he still walking? Well, let's take a look at the code again. We're never setting the speed back down to 0 or stopping the character. So we're just kind of staying in this walking animation no matter what. We only ever go to 0 if we don't have a target. And we'll only really not have a target when all the players are dead or the thing is first spawned. So what we want to do is stop this if we're in that attack range. So we'll just set the speed to 0. And we also want to stop the navmesh agent from moving. So just say navmesh agent dot is stopped equals true. Now I'm going to copy that and we're going to paste it right up here and we'll set it to false here. So if we're in range and walking towards things, we don't want it to be stopped. If we're out of range and we're walking towards things, we don't want it to be stopped. We want it stopped to be false. Otherwise, we're in range. We don't want to be navigating anymore. We want to stop the character completely. Now, I also want to stop them when we die. So let's go down to here where we do the death. And we'll also stop the nav mesh agent there because we don't want the character to keep sliding around and following me after it's dead, right? So let's see, what else do we need to add in here? Oh, we need one more thing in our update. So if we are dead, we don't want to be trying to get targets or set distance or any of that. So let's add a check here. If current health is less than or equal to 0, we'll just return. Essentially, if we're dead, we don't want to be, calling our update. In fact, let's extract this out. So I'm going to select that chunk of code, and we're going to introduce let's actually do this as a property. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to make a private bool is dead with a getter that returns current health less than or equal to 0. Then I'll copy that and paste it right here. So just if is dead, return. Just make it a little bit easier to read. I think we're good there. Let's try it out. Let's jump back into the game. Get rid of this extra enemy that's about to fall down and hit play. And we should be able to watch our characters follow us around, stop when they get in range, and then stop chasing us when they're dead. There we go. He got there. He's in range. He stopped. And if I turn and smack and hit him, knock him around a little bit, he's no longer following me around while dead. He's kind of sliding around. Now the reason for that sliding is just that I accidentally added on the rigid body again to my enemies. So I just need to pull that off of them. He's just kind of rolling down and sliding down. So let's see. Let me change that again real quick. Back into my prefabs, get to my enemy, and remove that rigid body. Remember, I had that there from when it was working like a box and we needed to add force. Just got to make sure that we get that stuff fixed up. There we go. Now I hit him a couple more times. He's dead, and he no longer follows me. And they do play their run animation while they try to chase around and catch me. There we go. Yep. And smack them. Smack them again, and they're dead and no longer chasing me. Perfect. So get this part working, get your character animating, and then come over to the next video. We've got a lot more to do. Specifically with his animations. We want to make this guy start actually swinging and trying to hit our player.